Coraline's box office win seems like a great thing for the industry, but could it also be bad? What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, my name's Ben. I like talking movies, I like talking TV, and I like talking about the entertainment business. I actually work in the entertainment industry. I've worked at a few big studios before, so I have kind of a cool little perspective. If you like what you see, please comment, please like, please subscribe. I recently passed 50 subscribers this past week, which has been really cool for me. I'm very, very small, so that's really cool for me. So thank you everyone who's watched. Thank you everyone who's joined. I appreciate it all. Let's get into the video. This is a very special video. I actually wore like my Coraline shirt to celebrate the big win. If you didn't know, Coraline was re-released and it completely smashed the box office. It did so well for a re-release. It made $40 million worldwide, which is just amazing for a 14-year-old movie to do that. To put that in perspective, that is more than Borderlands' entire box office run, the movie that released a couple weeks ago. Coraline's entire initial box office run was 125 million, so like 30% of that was made again for a movie that's 14 years old. That is amazing. That is a win. Love to see it. And this is not a first. Re-releases have been doing well this year. Sony re-released all the Spider-Man movies back in April and they made $40 million collectively as well. Like, that's pretty good. And they released them pretty stupidly, in my opinion. They released them only on Mondays for like 2 showings. It was a 7 p.m. and a 10 p.m. showing. And they did very well just off of that alone. Like, I think Spider-Man when it came out was like the #2 at the box office for a Monday when it came out. It did really well. Later, they finally started releasing them over the rest of the week, but like they didn't do weekends at all. Like they kind of like, it's like they're allergic to money. I don't understand it, but who am I to doubt the minds from Madam Web, you know? And while all this does seem pretty good for the industry, I do think there are some pros to this, and I do think there are some cons. So let's break it down. So the pro is people like going to the movie theaters, right? Like people are going to the movie theaters again. It's still relatively pretty down compared to where we were before, and it has been going down, but this shows that people do want to go see a movie. Like they will shell out $15 to $20 for a ticket for a movie that's widely available on streaming. Like you can find it and rent it on a lot of different places. It really shows the strength of a movie theater. People like going out to things. They like going and seeing the better visuals. They like going and seeing the better audio. They like enjoying a movie with a better community. Like it's all really great, and this shows just the strength of a movie theater. Another pro is that streaming is not nearly as strong as what studios thought. Studios have been training people since the pandemic to just stay at home, to not go to a theater, to wait for it to come to streaming, and this proves that people do want a theatrical experience. All these movies are widely available to rent for $3.99, $4.99 on Amazon, YouTube, iTunes. It's actually not on iTunes. I checked before this video. You can buy it on iTunes for 11 bucks, which is still a cheaper deal than a movie ticket. But it does prove that people want a theatrical experience. They don't just want to stay home all the time. Their argument is getting weaker. So I'm hoping movie studios will stop releasing their movies on digital, on streaming, on renting, like a couple weeks after the movie comes out in theaters. Like you got to give movies a chance to have legs. You got to stop training people that if they wait 3 weeks, they can just catch it at home. I'm not saying streaming is going away. It's going to be around forever. But the argument that streaming is going to replace theaters is getting weaker and weaker by the day. Another pro is this is extremely helpful to movie theaters directly. Movie theaters have been going through it. Audience attendance have been going down, prices have been going up, inflation has been going up, but then the pandemic happened and that just royally destroyed them. I do not want to know what it was like to be a movie theater owner during the pandemic. That must have sucked. But just as things were getting better, then the strikes happened and a lot of studios pushed their movies out. A lot of movies didn't perform well. A lot of actors couldn't do press on movies that were releasing, so they didn't get enough buzz. They didn't get enough marketing. Movie theaters have been going through it. Hopefully they got a lot of money from these re-releases. Hopefully, attendance was really well for them. Hopefully people bought a lot of concessions, and hopefully this makes them argue for better theatrical windows when studios want to release movies. They have data now to show that people still want to go see movies even when it's available on streaming. That's pretty cool for them. And now the not so fun part of this video, the cons. These re-releases give studios a way out of any work stoppage in the future. Something deep in my bones tells me that a lot of these re-releases are all because of the strikes, right? They pushed out work, they don't have as many movies coming out, they've been nervous about the potential IATSE strike that was possibly going to happen in the summer, so they didn't want to start up any movies. So they don't have as many movies flowing into the pipeline, and so they were using these re-releases to get some more money. I have no data to back this up with, Like, don't say that's a fact. It's just something that I feel deep inside as a hunch. That's all it is. But if there is another work stoppage, if there is another strike later on in the future, there probably will be, studios can just re-release their movies. They don't need to rely on new releases every couple of weeks, every couple of months. They can just rely on these re-releases to keep the cash flow going, bleed out the actors, bleed out workers, and kind of just wait. Like, they're going to be getting money, the workers won't be getting any money, and that gives them a really powerful leverage tool. Another con is studios will double down on this. They will double down on nostalgia. They will make movies that only have baked in audiences, baked in IP. Yes, this has all been happening several times, but now we'll see even more of it. And I'm not saying you shouldn't go see re-releases. Absolutely go see them. I'm just worried that studios will overly rely on them. And it sucks that I have to think about this. It's a very clear win for this movie. It's a very clear win for studios, but I am afraid that it could eventually be a loss for us. And that sucks because re-releases are fun. Like, they're enjoyable to go to. I went and saw Shaun of the Dead this past weekend in Dolby, and it was great. I've never seen that movie in a theater before. I was way too young when it first came out. It was amazing. The sound is crazy. It was great to experience that movie with other people. Same thing with the Spider-Man movies. They were great to re-experience in a theater. I love that so much. I don't want to think about how this could potentially be a bad thing, but it can. We do need to think about these possible pitfalls of all these re-releases, of just overly relying on nostalgia, of just requeling everything, of rebooting everything, of making only movies that have a built-in audience. It's something that we do just need to be a little careful about. But to be a little optimistic, con for the con is nostalgia eventually does run out. We have seen this. People are getting tired of just being fed the same movies over and over again. So I'm going to end this video showcasing some original movies. These movies don't really have a lot of marketing. I've talked about this before where it's really hard to be a fan of original movies, so let's showcase them. Strange Darling, this movie came out a couple weeks ago. It is a great little thriller. Don't learn anything about it, just try to go in blind. It's a really cool movie. Blink Twice, the Channing Tatum movie directed by Zoe Kravitz, that is out right now. Kevin Bacon actually did a video spotlighting these two movies.
So I'm just coming out of the movies. I saw that movie Strange Darling. Fantastic, wow, what a flick. I mean, acting, directing, all around, so cool. That's the third movie that I've seen this week. I also saw Blink Twice. Zoe Kravitz, wow. Zoe, you're a director. That was banging, and the acting from the men, from the women, everybody.
It's really cool of them to do that. And we have some new original movies on the horizon this month. We have The Front Room. This is a brand new horror movie. It's coming out this weekend. It's starring Brandy. Brandy is back. We have The Killer's Game coming out September 13th. Dave Bautista, original action movie. Could be pretty cool, could be bad. I don't really know. And my personal favorite this month, we have The Wild Robot coming at the end of this month. This is directed by Chris Sanders. He did Lilo and Stitch. It looks gorgeous. I can't wait to see it. So go enjoy these movies, enjoy these re-releases, go to the movie theater, show the studios that a theatrical experience is a great thing and can make them a whole lot of money. That way we can still enjoy these re-releases, but we don't have to rely on them. If you saw a recent re-release, tell me which one you saw. Drop it in the comments. Let me know how it was. I'd love to hear it. Thanks.